Hey everyone, Paul Brent's here with your Monday market update. Quick question for you. What if the people waiting for rates to drop are actually the reason it becomes harder to buy when they finally do? I'm going to explain that, what pushed up rates higher last week, and what the data coming out this week can mean for things where interest rates are going to go next. Now, as we head into the week, here's where rates are at. VAs at 5.625, FHAs at 5.49, conventional 6%, jumbo 6.25. These were the great credit up to 1 point and 25% down for conventional and jumbo. Now, let me ask you something. Yeah, you. Isn't it interesting how we almost never get everything working in our favor at the same time? When the stock market is doing great, your 401k is up, things feel good. But that same environment usually puts pressure on interest rates to move higher. So this idea of waiting for the perfect moment, great rate, strong market, low competition, it almost never shows up. It's like the unicorn. Anyways, what happened last week? Let's talk a little bit about that. The Feds met and they held rates steady. On the surface, that's good news. But here's what actually moved the market and why rates went up. Jerome Powell made it clear they're not in a rush to cut rates, and they're going to stay cautious because inflation is still a concern. This is what pushed up mortgage rates last week because the market was hoping to hear rate cuts are coming soon. Instead, what they heard was that they're going to wait. Now, we've talked about inflation in 30-year fixed rates. And when they, it's the kryptonite. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. There are really two groups right now, maybe more, but let's just narrow it down to two groups. One group believes Powell. They think rates should stay higher for longer because inflation isn't fully under control. The other group doesn't fully buy it. They believe the economy is going to slow down. And when that happens, rates will come down sooner than the Fed is saying. That push and pull is what's creating this movement right now. And then you layer in inflation. Inflation came in a little hotter than expected. And the big reason, of course, is the oil prices tied to what's happening globally. So when you've got a cautious Fed, inflation hanging around, and uncertainty on what's going to happen next. Now, by the way, at the same time all this is happening, home prices have risen 7 straight months. The job market is still holding up and builders are building, but they're being cautious. So what does this all mean? Number one, right, we're not in a crashing market. We're in a market that's adjusting and really trying to find its balance. So where does that put us all today? Now, coming into this week, stocks are mixed, mortgage bonds are still a little weaker, and oil is still elevated. There's even talk about supply disruption overseas that can keep inflation higher for longer. So depending on which side ends up being right, that's going to drive rates and where we go next. So speaking of next, what's coming up this week? This week is going to give us some direction. We've got mortgage applications, job openings, private payroll numbers, jobless claims, and Friday reports. Okay, let me simplify what all this means, right? Think of the economy like a thermostat. If it's running too hot, meaning people are working, spending, businesses are hiring like crazy, that creates inflation. And when inflation goes up, come on, say it with me, rates tend to go up. Now, if things start to cool down, less hiring, fewer job openings, that helps bring down inflation, and that's where rates have room to improve. So every report this week is going to answer one question. Is the economy hot or is it starting to cool? If the job report comes in strong, that could push interest rates higher. If it comes in weaker, that can help rates ease a bit. Same with mortgage applications. If more buyers start jumping back into the market, by filling out applications, that tells us demand is picking up, and that can put an upward pressure, not on rates, but on values as well. So as long the market is reacting to all these numbers in real time. Now, this is why you're seeing two different viewpoints. Some believe things stay strong and rates stay higher. Others believe things slow down and rates improve. This week starts to give us more clues on what direction it's ultimately going to go. So with all that, what should you actually be doing? This is where strategy matters more than timing. When you lock in a rate, which by the way, right, that's when you get in a contract, you should be doing one of two things. Either you're setting your loan up for a future refinance or you're setting it in for a long-term hold. Neither is right or wrong, but it really depends on where the market is when you lock your loan. The biggest mistake I see people trying to make right now is they're trying to make a perfect decision on all the timing. And what happens is they just don't make any decision at all. By the way, real quick, real estate agents, everything we just talked about for the most part is happening at a national level. This is what our families are hearing in the news, and it's shaping how they feel about the market before they even talk to you. But everybody, real estate is local. Every market is different. Some areas are very competitive. Some areas are slowing down. Some are giving buyers opportunities they didn't have a year ago. Some you have to do multiple offers. This is where a great real estate agent will step in. Our job, the real estate agent, my job is to help our families understand what's happening in their market, not just hearing what's going on nationally, because if they only listen to headlines, they may completely miss the opportunity right in front of them. Speaking of which, quick announcement, this Thursday at 6:30, I'm hosting a First Time Homebuying Webinar. Even if you're not a first-time homebuyer, this is something that will still help you. We're going to talk about how to think about buying in this market, how to avoid overpaying, and how to structure things so you keep more money in your pocket. If you've been thinking about making a move, this is a great place to start. So I have a final thought for you before I let you go. Right now, the market is trying to decide who is right and where to go, the Fed or the people betting against them. And here's the part I want to leave with you. As of right now, most projections are going into 2026 are putting mortgage rates somewhere in the mid to high 50s, if 5%, if mortgage rates, if inflation cools. If it stays stronger, probably high 6 to low 6s. Going into 2027, inflation is going to dramatically dictate where rates go. So the big picture isn't rates are going to crash overnight. It's going to happen slowly over time, and it goes up and down, up and down. The strategy in this market is not to try to time it, but when you find that perfect house, to see where we're at in the cycle, and that will dictate your strategy. Remember, is it hold for long term, or is it setting you up for a refinance? And a great loan officer and a great real estate agent will help you navigate this so you find the perfect house and you pay the least amount of interest, and you prepare your family to set yourself up for a future refinance if that's appropriate. Okay, hope you had a great week. And for some of you, I can't wait to see you on Thursday. Paul Lebrant's Clear to Close Brokers. Let me get my end button here. Have a great week. See you next Monday. Take care. Bye now.